The attempt to escape from pain is what creates more pain. It is impossible to understand addiction without asking what relief the addict finds, or hopes to find, in the drug or the addictive behavior. When I am sharply judgmental of any other person, it's because I sense or see reflected in them some aspect of myself that I don't want to acknowledge. The difference between passion and addiction is that between a divine spark and a flame that incinerates. Passion creates, and addiction consumes. Being cut off from our own natural self-compassion is one of the greatest impairments we can suffer. In the real world, there is no nature versus nurture argument, only an infinitely complex and moment-by-moment interaction between genetic and environmental effects. Boredom, rooted in a fundamental discomfort with the self, is one of the least tolerable mental states. I needed to write, to express myself through written language, not only so that others might hear me but so that I could hear myself. No society can understand itself without looking at its shadow side. The research literature has identified 3 factors that universally lead to stress: uncertainty, the lack of information, and the loss of control. What we call the personality is often a jumble of genuine traits and adopted coping styles that do not reflect our true self at all but the loss of it. We think that children act, whereas what they mostly do is react. Parents who realize this acquire a powerful tool. By noticing their own responses to the child, rather than fixating on the child's responses to them, they free up tremendous energy for growth. Shame is the deepest of the negative emotions, a feeling we will do almost anything to avoid. Unfortunately, our abiding fear of shame impairs our ability to see reality. Much of what we call personality is not a fixed set of traits, only coping mechanisms a person acquired in childhood. Learn to read symptoms not only as problems to be overcome but as messages to be heeded. Collect them before you direct them. The warmth and satisfaction of positive contact with the adult are often just as good as a psychostimulant in supplying the child's prefrontal cortex with dopamine. Why can't parents see their children's pain? I've had to ask myself the same thing. It's because we haven't seen our own. Judgment or blaming is not the point, understanding is.